Let's see what our next map is. I think we already showed it, but I didn't read it.
Polaris Rhapsody. Let's go.
Okay, sick.
Game number 4. This best of 5 here, Soulkey versus Light. Okay. Zerg in the upper left, Terran in the bottom right.
Yeah, so this is one of our newer maps. Definitely a very cool one. There's a lot of different paths that you can take. And securing that third gas for Zerg, there's 2 ways you can go about it. There is the third gas that's really far away, like basically below Soulkey's main. You have to walk all the way down out of your natural, up a hill, through a mineral only, around a corner, and then you're in a defensible location, but it's super far away. The other one is the very wide open double gas in the corner. So that's kind of the place where it's a little bit hard as Zerg to figure out what you want to do.
Yeah. Man, it's kind of weird, Artosis. We've never gotten to standard late game TVZ. Light's trying to do it, but Soulkey is not down for anything of the ordinary, right? I mean, the fact that we saw that drawn-out mass muta play there,
yeah, well,
was
Soulkey,
really interesting.
Yeah, the way he was playing, I think he beats most Terrans in that situation.
Yeah.
You know, we'll get a Terran that'll be like, oh, crap, he's doing a lot of damage, and they'll stim into the Sunkens thinking that's their best chance.
Yeah.
In fact, there were several times I thought that would be his best chance.
Yeah.
And he just
I
didn't
thought the
do
same
it.
thing.
He even irradiated his own SCV with his first irradiate. He's like, no, it's fine, man. I'm really good at this matchup. And, you know, he held on. He found the pressure points. He kept the pressure on with the vessels. He got the 2 drop ships out. That's really where he won it. It was the double drop in the top left.
Yeah, that game could have gone on a lot longer.
Yeah, that game would have been like a long, pretty normal-ish game if he hadn't been able to do that. Like if 2 Scourge catch one of those, it's like, oh, okay, there you go. We have a game.
I'm really wondering, though, man, like, are we going to have one this time around here? I mean, Soulkey's, you know, going mass muta like that and getting +1, that's, I mean, it's not crazy or anything, but it's not normal.
Yeah,
it's not like the first, you know, build you see. It's not the stand. It's not when you're trying to show somebody this matchup. You say, okay, well, here's what it looks like. It's like, not really.
Yeah.
Actually, this is kind of a weird alternative style that he's bringing. He 7-pulled in game 1. In game 2, he actually just evaluated that there was not enough actually back at home for the Terran. Terran's being a little bit too ambitious on the map. I'm going to punish that with a counter here.
Yeah.
Which he did, and he won that. But, yeah, we're not going to anything that looks to be like a normal game.
Well, TVZ has so many little tiny aspects that you're trying to do as well as you possibly can. Like, let's not forget in that last game, like the 2 fire bats and the Marine that were in the top left. You know, after a certain point, the mutas have to stay around the main Terran army and around the Terran base to keep pressure on. So you leave a couple fire bats that you were thinking about breaking Sunkens with at the third base. Suddenly, Soulkey's third is so late, and he has to play like this. And, you know, this is kind of the beauty of what we're watching here. 2 players that are at the absolute pinnacle of this matchup.
Yeah. Yeah, TVZ, it's so fun because sometimes it looks like it, you know, each matchup kind of looks the same. It's like, well, there's Lings and you see Lurkers and Mutas, so it's like, is that what TVZ is? No, it's so much more than that. Yeah. There's all these little mini games going on.
And I tell you what, Tasis, this one, I think that, I mean, so far it seems to me that Polaris Rhapsody probably favors Terran a little bit, especially someone like Light, who can stay aggressive. But kind of interestingly, if Soulkey's able to take this, the last map will be Fortress, right? And that one can get a little bit wild because of those corner bases.
That's a good point.
That's an easy way to take a third gas right there.
Yeah, for sure. I guess the question, though, is are we actually going to get to that map here? I mean, Light's definitely seemed like he's not having a hard time here against Soulkey as long as he can just keep producing and keep developing that the 5 racks tech.
The most standard game we saw was the Circuit Breaker game, right? And then Soulkey actually kind of dominated there after he got 1 surround on Marine Medic.
I do see what you're saying. I guess that kind of went back to the principle of what we were talking about earlier in TVZ where, you know, sometimes you win one big fight and then it snowballs really quickly.
Yeah.
Until you are, you know, at the point where you're, Zerg's on 3 base, Terran's on 2 base, complete with like the starport tech. You saw this moment where there was just not quite enough at home. And all of a sudden, Soulkey went in there, he pounced. He got those lurkers broed. He started leapfrogging them. And you could see the The sand was running out of the hourglass there for Light.
Yeah. Looking at this game, it's the 2 racks from Light once again. It looks like Soulkey just with a very standard 3-hatch play. Or this 3rd hatch actually might be just a little bit late. I wasn't paying super attention because we were talking so deeply about the other things. But Light's 2 racks, he really does like this. This little initial pressure coming out. It's not going to do much, but it is going to force these Sunkens out of Soulkey. So
yeah,
that's going to slow his economy a bit.
This is a dance we see so many times in TVZ, and you got to realize that just forcing him to spend money to make those Sunken colonies is worth it.
Yeah.
So you go across the map. The Zerg player responds by respecting the Terran army. And then you just turn around and you say, okay, I made you waste money in a kind of abstract way by, you have to make those sunks as a deterrent so I don't just come in there and kill you. And you say, okay, it works. Back up. By the way, once again with the Muta tech here from Soulkey, he's really sticking to this.
Yeah, I think you got to go Muta here. Like, Lurkers, you're almost like relying on a little bit of luck. Someone like Light isn't going to be that afraid of Lurkers, to be honest. Lurkers are much better defensively than offensively. Obviously, we saw a game where Soulkey was able to get him into his natural, and that's fantastic, but that's not normal, right?
Right. So these Mutas are coming across the map now. Let's see if if Light is going to be set up correctly to hold this, because this map's kind of wonky, right? You have this low location at your natural that's kind of weak. You can be hitting your main, but the Zerg has to kind of commit. But there's this location where the barracks are that's also a little bit exposed.
Yeah, that's one of the best ways to beat a Terran player is to get on top of their production.
Oh, it's the same thing with a fast expanding Protoss is when you realize there's a 3rd location they have to defend that's not really covered by either the natural or the main. Okay, a stim there, bruising those Mutas a little bit, but immediately Soulkey flips back around. Now, I don't think he's going to be able to get down through the bottom there towards the main and the natural at all.
Yeah,
this is basically sealed off.
He's looking very good here. Like, his turret placement is immaculate right now. Don't forget that even just that 2 racks pressure that he did, you have a few less Marines than a 5 racks +1, but it's taking a while for Soulkey to even get to the Muta level he wants because he's having to do things like buy Sunkens and be careful in that way. But he's got a decent clump now. He's flown around the map looking for another entry point. Nope. 3 well-placed missile turrets there. Chase him away.
So the Muta's not really doing that much. Again, there's still an asset later on, but Light's been pretty airtight here in this defense. Like, every turret, guys, that was placed here, that was mapped out ahead of time.
Oh, yeah.
You'd never at the pro level just like, well, I guess I need turrets.
Yeah.
Well, here's a location
put them down
where I can put a box-shaped building.
Yeah.
Not the case. Everything is so perfected. Oh, here we go. The Mutas are going to try to commit in here. Now, he has... okay, now this could be bad here for the Zerg. I don't know if he can get out of here, Artosis.
Yeah, he's going to lose a little bit here. Now, ouch. The saving grace of this move was that he sees that it's 3 racks into tech from Light, and that's actually really, really important that Light's teching up so quickly. He knows not to expect gigantic amounts of Marines at this point. Oh, I got chills. Oh, Tasteless, I think I know what I'm seeing here.
Tell me, Tosis.
When you're seeing a really quick hive and a really quick evolution chamber, ultras are on the way.
Ooh. Oh, this is one of the more abstract ways to play. Well, let's just see what happens, man. The Mutas are now out on the map as Light has the initial forts. It's trying to come across the map and deny the 3rd base. We see a drone headed to the top right, so that's probably where Soulkey's actually going to get this set up.
Oh, by the way, this could be Guardians. Again, we have to point out there, but with that evolution chamber, it is pointed
whenever
towards...
we have a quick hive coming on 2 bases and the Zerg player went Spire, you have to acknowledge that Guardians are going to be a possibility.
Yeah. Now, there is a big amount of bio out, even though it's only been 3 racks. He hasn't really lost very much. Adds a few more turrets, it looks like, just playing very safe because he is moving around. Light has to be careful not to lose any of his groups. And this group... that was pretty brave by Light.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a small number of Marines and Medics. Like, are you sure?
Not 100%
Thing is, with the Zerg, you never know if there's a little bit more behind that. You know? So
if there's another 6 Marines behind that, that engage would be bad.
I kind of get what's going on here. By the way, we have 2 bases being taken in opposite locations. Light cannot take out both of these at once.
No, he cannot. It's very important to to know.
Okay, here come the Lings. Oh, this is going to be bad for Light.
Okay, he's trying to get behind the medics as well as he can. The medic's blocking a little bit on the Lings, but the Muta's coming in for that extra damage.
Yeah.
And, of course, he will clear this. So this is something that can happen, and this is actually a crucial moment for Soulkey because he eliminates a huge chunk of bio when this has been 3 racks the whole time.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's
if this
not
was
5
racks, he would be like, yeah, I have twice as much as that at home. It's like, no, that's not the case here.
But is he going to be able to deny this base over here? I guess when it's said and done, Zerg will still be on 3 bases. In fact, on some level, this may be the whole reason why you do this.
Yeah. Well, he kills this, but the thing is, this is closer to 4 base than 3 base, really. Zerg never utilizes mineral saturation all the way. He's got 4 gases with that top right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
it really is more 4 base. The
Yeah.
funny thing about Zerg and StarCraft 1, guys, is that a lot of times you see pros with actually not that many drones compared to like when you look at a Terran base or a Protoss base.
In fact, this game, he is droned up extra. We see there, right? And that's a really smart play because he's sitting on kind of the 2 bases going for ultras. So he does need to get a little bit extra as far as his economy. He's got his 2nd Evo now. I'm getting chills. This is really exciting to see this out of Soulkey. It's not a very popular strategy at the pro level, but it's definitely still around occasionally.
Okay, so some Lings are set up here to try to counterattack into the main when Light does actually move across the map. We're at the point in time where Terran's starting to accumulate a lot of science vessels. So we want to watch for that because a lot of times if the Terran loses all those science vessels, that's when we really feel like the game is going to go towards where the Zerg is.
Yeah.
Now, there's a push coming out here. I think at this point in time, you look at this and say, oh, he's definitely left. Oh, great irradiates here. He needs to pull that out. This is the tricky thing, guys, is because you stack those mutas so tightly together by adding an Overlord in the group because it's harder for the Marines to hit, the irradiate becomes scarier.
Yeah.
And if they get an irradiate that's under the muta that's on the top of the stack, if you have 7 mutas, how hard is it going to be to get that 1 muta out in time?
Okay, now, this is a deciding moment in this game right now. Can Soulkey save this base? He's got Ultras, he's got Ling. I don't know if chitinous plating is done. +3, it is done. He's got chitinous plating. I think that he's going to save this.
Yeah, now notice he's staying at the ramp here. Okay, he's decided he's going to push down. Thing is, Ultras are actually fairly good against Marines. It's kind of funny. They just keep killing up Marines. Watch this. Watch this.
Hey, get some medics in front. Well, 1 medic in front at least. Good irradiate. He's got a lot of bio here. We got to get the rest of those Lings in. The flank of the Zerglings in the back.
Now, this is what's funny is for those of you guys that played StarCraft 2, you probably thought, oh, I thought that Marines would just stim and kind of kite away, you know, like Marauders and stuff. No. Take them out. No. The Ultras just stay alive for so long, and they just tear apart, especially when they're comboed with Zerglings with adrenal glands.
Yeah. Now, Soulkey is taking another base, which is going to be his 5th gas. That isn't as important right now, but like what we need to see is it looks like Light wants to go SK Terran. Hopefully he has his 2nd engineering bay up and running already because he needs to keep up on upgrades as best he can. Like, if the Ultras get too far ahead in upgrades, you can't do anything. Notice he's even landed buildings in front of himself so he can macro back up.
He's just totally turtled up.
Yeah.
By the way, there is a drop ship headed northbound that's going to be intercepted right here. And, I mean, with Ultras on the ground, it's like, just try to unload that.
Yeah, that's not
I mean, Soulkey's laughing so hard there's milk coming out of his nose when he saw that try to unload. Like, oh, you're going to get in a corner and my Lings can't surround you? I have giant Zerglings called Ultralisks.
Yeah. They got a bit of armor, I heard.
Yeah.
Look at that, 1-4. Oh, my God. So Light's trying to move out again. You have to have a giant ball of units. If you can get a little bit of a medic wall in front of your units, that helps a lot. If you can get some good defense matrices, sometimes that's helpful. Looks like he chooses to radiate. Oh, Soulkey's just going to destroy.
This is just too much. By the way, when you irradiate Ultralisks, that irradiate still deals damage to the Marines in front of them.
Yeah.
So
it does. It helps.
Sometimes defense matrix is used as an alternative there since the Ultra ends up taking more swipes to kill off a Marine. But, I mean, Soulkey has just smashed through Light's army. And even though you might look at this and think the supplies are even, it doesn't matter. Zerg's almost always supposed to be behind in supply in a normal-looking game. And
in an even game, they're behind.
Yeah, and this is a game where he did a hyper-fast tech into Ultra and is basically zoned out Light as far as, like, tech utility. Like, Light's flying around with these vessels like, I can irradiate lurkers. And then Soulkey's like, I don't have any lurkers. I have Ultralisks.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
The Ultra's now countering. Look at this. He
now-
leaves Scourge in the flying back path, kills the vessels. This game is all but over.
Yeah. Beautifully done here by Soulkey. It seems like Light is going to try and kind of do a suicide play with his army headed into the north and taking out that third base. But I think that if I'm Soulkey, I'm going to be much more comfortable being in this position than as the Terran.
Yeah. You don't care about this
Yeah.
base of Soulkey. He has 4 gases still. He's got Ultras in the base. Like, you can still clear these Ultras technically. The SCV blocks really work well. Ultras have a hard time pathing when stuff's in their way, so definitely
Okay, we got
important there.
Morling Ultra coming out on the map.
I think that's going to be it, Tasteless.
Yep. And, well, he's going to go. He's going to try.
Yeah.
And the Ultras will just run away. The thing is, whenever the link counts get low, what you do is you just run away again with the Ultras.
18 kills in this Ultra. Oh my
yeah.
god.
But the good news is we are going to have a Game 5.
Yeah, this is an awesome series right now, and both of them really showing a lot of different strategies and skills. So that is going to be that. Light should be GGing now.
GG.
Okay.
There it is.
All right.
Game 5.
Again, a very important Game 5 coming up here for Light. Really wants to avoid the possibility of playing Snow or Rain in the next round. Those are the best Protoss versus Terran players in the world. He's really an expert against Zerg. For Soulkey, I don't think he cares too much who he's going to play. He's such a badass.
Really cool to see Soulkey bringing so many different varieties as a Zerg player against a Terran. Guys, we are going to be going to a short break. When we return,